Hello, this is Lieutenant Colonel Howard again. Here is an overview of F104 Designing Army Units. Capability developers consider courses of action across the .mil/pf domains with the intent of deriving materiel, personnel, and organizational solutions as a last resort. This class examines what happens when an organizational solution is recommended. This is just an overview and not a substitute for your readings or classroom instruction. Let's see where we are on the Army Force Management Model. You have already been introduced to the 3 decision support systems for the Army Force Management Model. We discussed JSIDs in F102 and DAS in F103. We will talk about PPBE in F107. Today, we will focus on the Army's force development process. We already discussed the first phase, JSIDs. Now we will examine phases 2 and 3, designing organizations and developing organizational models. We are getting closer to force integration and describing how the Army links the current force to future capabilities. Here are the key takeaways for F104. Organizational design solutions overcome identified capability shortfalls that cannot be accommodated by doctrine, training, leadership, and education, facility, or policy solutions. At the end of this lesson, you'll better understand how force development fills the capability gaps identified in JSIDs. We will explain what an FDU is. We will see how TOEs reflect the requirements that meet the needs of combatant commanders. And we will learn about something called FIFA analysis. Let's start, at the beginning. Here's a closer look at JSIDs and the Army's capability-based assessment process. Our journey starts with national strategy, from which the Army Plan, or TAP, is derived. Strategy informs the Joint Concept Framework and the Army Concept Framework. CBA is the process by which we identify needs, prioritize gaps, and determine solutions. Okay, let's zoom in and take a look at phase 2 of the force development process. All right. The output from JSIDs is a .mil/pf change recommendation, or DCR. Since this is an organizational solution, capability developers prepare a force design update, or FDU. An FDU packet comprises 6 parts. These include a unit reference sheet, or URS, and an O&O concept paper. Capability developers send this packet out for worldwide staffing. The packet must ultimately be approved by the Chief of Staff of the Army and the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. Once an organizational solution becomes the recommendation, the force modernization proponent begins the integration process across the .mil/pf domains. The force design update is how the Army proposes new organizations or makes changes to existing organizations. The organizational design includes the minimum mission essential wartime requirements for new and modified organizations. TRADOC submits FDUs to G357 semi-annually. Special out-of-cycle FDUs may be conducted to handle complex design issues or issues of special emphasis, such as those directed by Headquarters DA. In addition, force modernization proponents can submit an FDU Junior at any time. FDU Junior issues involve minor adjustments that normally do not impact other proponents and do not cause personnel growth. The Operational and Organizational Concept Paper, or O&O, describes three concepts. The operational concept explains how the organization will accomplish its mission. The organizational concept describes how the parts of the organization interrelate. The concept of change, if applicable, details how the current organization will transition to the proposed organization. The bottom line is that the O&O explains how the organization works both internally and externally. The unit reference sheet is a comprehensive graphical depiction of the organization. It has four critical elements: unit mission and capabilities, organizational structure and hierarchy, key personnel, and key equipment. Let's look at the next phase of Army Force Development. Develop organizational models. So the FDU is now analyzed by Headquarters DA. This process is called Force Integration Functional Area Analysis. The U.S. Army Force Management Support Agency, or USAFEMSA, starts developing the Table of Organization and Equipment, or TOE. USAFEMSA uses the data provided by program managers to develop the BOIP, or Basis of Issue Plans. After these requirements documents are staffed, Headquarters DA must approve them. These requirements documents then become organizational models within the force management system. Let's go back and dig into Force Integration Functional Area, or FIFA analysis. Headquarters DA must ensure that proposed organizational changes are suitable, feasible, and acceptable. This analysis must consider the impact to other organizations across the Army. Organizational change can significantly impact multiple areas, including the infrastructure and support available at military installations. The Table of Organization and Equipment, or TOE, is a requirements document that prescribes the mission, organization, and minimum mission essential wartime requirements. A TOE denotes a type of unit. TOEs are given an SRC, or Standard Requirements Code. MTOEs, which describe a specific unit, are given unique UICs, or Unit Identification Codes. There are usually more MTOEs than TOEs because multiple unique units will share the same TOE. A BOIP is a requirements document that states the planned placement of new equipment, associated items of equipment, and personnel, as well as the reciprocal displacement of equipment and personnel. Capability developers and material developers must work together to produce the feeder data along with guidance for Capability Development Documents, or CDDs. BOIPs explain what a piece of equipment does, where it belongs, who uses it, and how it is used. Once again, here are the key takeaways for F104. I will see you in class.